I'm your host, Jamie Morris, and I will be taking you through this round four for the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa-Francorchamps. So welcome everybody, hope you're doing alright as we get our drivers in. We won't have the full house tonight sadly, but I think we should have 15 or 16, so let's see how it goes. And yep, we're already up, so we should be going soon, and we're on schedule tonight, so let's see how things pan out in the next coming few minutes. So yeah, we're just waiting for to go in the session, and we should be going. And away we go then for short qualifying here tonight at Belgium, here in Spa. A high-speed track. It can be quite difficult sometimes. Here we are then, 15 drivers, very quick drivers indeed, and let's see how it all goes out tonight. Only 15, so I don't know where the other 5 are. In fact, I know where a few of them are, but in terms of other people, I don't know where they are. Zach's not here tonight, I don't think, which he is not, so he won last time in Belgium. Here we are then. It is cloudy qualified, it seems like, so might affect the drivers a bit, but it won't affect them too much. At least it's dry for this qualified session, so let's see when the drivers start to come out of the grid then. So short qualifying session, usually get about 3 laps in on this track because it's a very low track indeed, so the maximum time you could do is 3 laps. So we've got some drivers coming out of the garage, and we'll go on board for whoever's first out on the track then. So you can see the Mercedes people coming out, both McLarens, both Mercedes are coming out, both AlphaTauris are out as well. So we're going to go on board with one of the McLarens, which is VR Jules down in P8. He finished second last week, so can he go one better than he did in Abu Dhabi? Because in Abu Dhabi he was leading the race and he was a sitting duck on the straight because Zach had all of his ERS compared to Jules, and Jules was vulnerable on the straight to defend from Zach. So without Zach here being tonight and Jules having a quick being a quick driver, can he go one better than he did? Oh dear, I don't know if you're allowed to do that or not, but I did have caught it on the stream. So notice a lot. I know just one person did it last week, but Jules trying to get his way around the track as quick as he can. I don't know what it benefits him because it's very early in this qualifying session, so I don't know why he's decided to do that, but I don't know if you're allowed to do it. If you're not allowed to do it, then he's been caught doing it. I think Pool 1 can be a difficult part of the track, but it's not all too bad in all fairness. The right-left can be quite difficult to hook it up perfectly. It's very easy to lose the back end on that curb and or invalidate your lap on the exit of that. Let's come through the end of the middle sector. Start below, easy flat. It's just flat out all the way down to the heavy braking zone down at the bus stop chicane. Oh, that's why he probably did it. Everybody's out on the track because a flash of rain has started to appear. So Jules being the first one out. As you can see, all of them are queuing at the last sector. You can see on the form up there, whoever's last that train will be a big disadvantage. But Jules then on a lap in this tricky, difficult session on board with the VR driver then as he makes his way down into La Source. If you remember back in 2008, Lewis Hamilton spun down here at turn 1 into La Source. That was a mega race in 2008. 2012 is the year that Jenson Button dominated the Belgian Grand Prix, took pole and won it. Easy one stop from him. So as you can see then, all these guys on a big train, there they are as Ratica loses it through. Well, he gets away with it. He does not invalidate his lap time, does Ratica, so he's managed to get away with it. As you can see, a whole train of cars behind each other. So if one person makes a mistake, there's Chapelele behind his teammate, the Ginger. and Dan's, and the racing point is the last of that queue. Is that Jill? Yes, so the Frenchman is at the back of this queue. So he's a big disadvantage here, because if it rains too much and he's at the back, then it'd be most likely he'll be starting in last place. So go back on board with the VER driver Jules. Managed to keep it nice and clean on this lap so far, no invalidations. As we've got a yellow flag down there at No Name. So it's the Alfa Romeo of Chapelele who's lost the rear, and it's an AlphaTauri down as well. AlphaTauri has crashed through No Name, and that AlphaTauri, who is it? It's Jeroen Visser who's crashed through No Name. So both Jeroen Visser and Chapelele struggling as they both go wide to avoid other drivers. So let's go back on board with Jules then. A lot of people in this qualifying session are struggling. So Chapelele and Jeroen Visser are a big disadvantage here as Jules comes to the final two corners. The bus stop came, managed to get it slowed down in time, taking it very cautious, but they lose the back end at the last corner. Slides its way to the line. It's a 46.0, so we're going to get a whole tread of cars here, starting with the Williams driver as Dan's retired through Stabilo. Ratika's P2, Tail Racer goes P3, Kaz goes P4, Sahilu goes P2 ahead of Kaz by 9 thousandths. And here is Sem struggling to the final corner. There he is, making his way across the line, goes P7. A crash at that's Symbolics, who's crashed at Blanchimont. We saw Raikkonen crash there years ago. Gio looks like he's going for another lap, it seems. No, he's not going for another lap. He's getting out of people's ways. Jeroen Visser crawls his way to the line. Gio's retired, so yeah, it looks like this qualifying session will be ending soon, as we all had a mad dash coming out of the pit lane. So it's a McLaren 1-2, folks, at the Belgian Grand Prix. Jules in P1 ahead of his teammates Sahilu in P2 by a big margin, 1.3 seconds the gap is. So Jules had the high ground by going out very early, and that's paid dividends because he's P1 with a big gap of a 46.6. And the conditions are getting even worse and worse. So the drivers that did not set a lap time is Jill, Symbolics, Finley, Quicksilver, Chapelele and Dan. Sadly for Jill, Symbolics and Dan, they are out of this qualifying session then. So as you can see, people are going on the intermediate tyres because there's still positions to be made. I think P9 is doable because Jeroen Visser has done a 2 minute 22 and that can be beaten on the inter tyres. So P9 is up for grabs, folks. So people on the intermediates, let's go on board with Quicksilver as Finley has validated it. He might want to switch over to the intermediates because those softs now are useless around this wet part of the track. So Quicksilver then out, the first one out on the intermediate tyres. Like I said, P9 are up for grabs, so Chapelele taking advantage of that as well. So Jules then, he can retire knowing that he's safe. No one's going to be that pole time. It's a battle for P9 then between Jeroen Visser, Finley, Quicksilver and Chapelele. As Quicksilver's going to be careful, he doesn't want to do that in the actual qualifying run, because it could have got a lot worse than that. So Chapelele is out there somewhere too. He's coming through Ravage. Let's see how the wet conditions are to them then, because let's see if they struggle or not. Ginger is in P4 and has retired. Ratica in P5, Terror Racer in P6, so the top 8 are safe. But from Jeroen Visser downwards, there's places to be gained. So I don't think it was wise for Jill, Symbolics or Dan to retire. Well, Dan crashed, so did Symbolics, but Jill retired on the track, so I think it wasn't an ideal thing to do because he could have got P9. But he might get dropped down to P13, I think. P12, P13, not too bad. So that was an interesting qualifying session then. Whoever was first out of the track got the best time in. There's one ball Quicksilver then in the Mercedes going for his first lap on the intermediate tyres. I don't know what happened to him on his first flying lap. Maybe he invalidated it or make a mistake. But it's his chance to gain P9. Coming out of turn 1 there, managed to get the rotation. No wheel spin on turn 1, so very nice and clean from the VR driver as he makes his way up the hill towards Eau Rouge and Radion. He backs out the throttle there, and you can see the rear sliding, making his way on the Camel Straight. Can you go flat out in the work? I think you can in the inters because I've tried it before, but maybe he's on a dry setup, so you probably can't really do it. Nice entry towards Lacombe. Do these slow corners, experimenting with the throttle as much as you can. As now we come downhill to Rivarge, so we expect to see a lock up, which he doesn't really do. So nice entry into Rivarge. Let's hope he don't lose the rear by traction, which he doesn't. Coming through No Name, very nice and neat from him. Taking the curb towards P1. Make sure he don't go out too wide, which he doesn't do. You can see he's very hesitant. Maybe he's on a dry setup, it could be dry for the race, who knows. Or you can see when he applied the throttle, the back end was stepping out, so we're going to be careful not to lose traction. You see the rear end sliding all over the show. You can see Kaz and Brad on the outlaps on the intermediate tyres, so it must tell me that they want to do some practice on the inters because is he going to be ready for the race? Who knows? Kaz has got no reason to go out on the inters. Brad, can he improve on a 50.9? Is it do it? Can you do it? I don't know. We'll be judged by Quicksilver's time. Making our way to the heavy braker zone into the bus stop chicane. Has a lock up. Doesn't go deep at all. Nice and tidy. The back end staying with him. Doesn't lose his traction. The exit the corner. He comes across the line. It's a 52.5 and he goes P9 ahead of Jeroen Visser. Chapelele has made a mistake coming out of Stabilo. And I wonder what happened to him. Did he just lose the back end completely? Quicksilver has retired. So Chapelele then welcomes the pits at the end of this lap because he hasn't got any fuel in his car. Well, he's running out of fuel, shall I say. So he has to go for a brand new set of inters and see what he could do on his next run. And FRL Finley is out there on the intermediate tyres. Down in P13, he's one of the drivers that did not set a lap time in the drag, well, in the greasy conditions. Started raining when Jules was in the third sector, so it wasn't too bad for Jules. All he had to do was not invalidate his lap time, which he didn't do, so he managed to make it around the track very safely. And it's a McLaren 1-2. It's going to be a very interesting race because Sahilu usually struggles in qualifying, but he's up there in P2 with his teammate on the first row. So can he get a good result for tonight's race? We're about to see. Williams driver making his way around the track. In fact, we've got a ball with Brad. Nope, because this is what has validated it. What about Brad? He's coming through the Camel Straight. We'll head to Finley as soon as we're done with Brad, but I don't think he can improve on the 50.9. 1.4 seconds down anyway, so I don't think he can. Maybe he's just doing exploratory a lot of times, or maybe he just wants to have a bit of fun in qualifying. And he's validated his lap time, so go back on board with Finley. As we make our way into turn 1, Jeroen Visser has retired. He could have gone on a brand new set of inters and improved, but he's going to drop down to P12 because if Finley and Chapelele do improve, then Jeroen Visser will get pushed down to P12. I must say that was very quick and committed from Finley there in Eau Rouge and Radion. Very confident on the throttle. Let's see what he does into Lacombe then as he makes his way through turn 4. These can be very difficult corners, especially these ones, the slow corners. Very cautious on the throttle indeed. Oh, has a bit of a tack slapper, but does not invalidate crucially. Continues down into Rivarge. Sure shifting his way through the gears, and you can see the throttle there. Very, very cautious on this lap. If he can't beat Quicksilver, he could definitely beat Jeroen Visser with a 225.5. Very cautious on the entry to the right left sequence of corners. Brett stays out there along with the Alpha Tyrants. Those two are still going for lap times. Finley locks up slightly, and this middle sector is a 22.8. You can see he's not really confident going flat out through Stabilo. Can he beat Quicksilver with a 52.555? So your pole sitter is VR Jules and his teammate in P2 are with him. Kais will be P3 ahead of Ginger, Ratica P5 ahead of Terror Racer, Seven P7 ahead of Bread, Quicksilver P9, but Wolf Finley beats at 52.5 as he makes his way now across the line. What's it going to be? It's a 53.3 and he is in 10th place. What about Chapelele down at P14? As he makes his way up the hill towards Radion and Eau Rouge. I think he took it flat out to those corners, which he did, so very confident on there. This first sector, what's it going to be? 31.4. Can't quite remember what Finley did in that first sector. Takes it through fourth gear through those sequence of corners now as we come through turn 7. What happened to Finley? Did Finley have a moment at Eau Rouge and Radion? Did he have a little bit of a spin? He's all safe, his full wing's still intact, so he might have lost the back end and just saved it. As we're on board with the Alfa Romeo, as we make our way down into P1. Very easy place to spin there, especially in the wet too. Takes the curb on the entries. What about this one? No, he avoids the curb. I think it's the best thing to do, as Joey has joined the qualifier session, so he'll start last place unless he can get into a car. Oh, Chapelele very close to track limits there, but you can see the back end just stepping out, and he lost the back end, and he has invalidated his lap time. He hasn't got enough fuel to go for another run, so he has to pit this lap. Can he make it around in time? I think he can. He's going to be very close on timing. Do you know what? I think Chapelele could be out of this qualifier session. I think it was wise to put more fuel in the car. And yes, he does go in the pits, and that's his qualifying potentially done, unless he can get out there very quickly and go around quick on his outlap. But that won't help him whatsoever, being slow in the pits. So Joey then down in P12. He will opt to go on the intermediate, so we'll look at the weather conditions for the race. P10 is up for grabs, or P9, sorry, if he can get there. Switch over to the inters, and let's see what lap time Joey can do. Looks like Finley's going for another lap then, so go on board with the Williams driver. He's got loads of fuel in the car. So has Brett down in P8, whilst Kizizo in P3, but more importantly Finley, because he's the one that could fight for P9. Slight lift off through Radion Eau Rouge. We did see Chapelele go flat out through there, as Joey is on the inters, and I can see the Renault driver popping out the pits. And it's going to be a 31.5. He's 1/10 quicker than his best lap, but Chapelele did a 1:31.4. Maybe that slight lift off cost him a little bit in Eau Rouge and Radion. As we come down through the Rivage, just a lock up on the inside tyre. And now we're making our way through. No Name goes deep though, goes very wide. In fact, he does not invalidate. He did miss the apex, but he didn't invalidate, so that's something from Finley. I think this will be, if he's got enough fuel in the car, go for one more lap, but this could potentially his last lap. Depends how much fuel he's got in that Williams. Looks like a decent lap so far from Finn. Let's see what his middle sector is like. A bit of a wobble on going through there. And his middle sector is going to be a 22.2. Goes 6/10 quicker, so can he beat Joachim with the 52.5? Keeps his lap nice and tidy. He'll get himself into the 52s, but he just needs a very tidy lap now from here on in, as Dan has left the session, so hopefully he's got backup invites and join back. Bearing in mind those guys are retired, so they could invite him. As Finley then approaches the bus stop chicane, goes a little bit deep as the first part of it, compromises his second run into it, as Finley then comes across the line. Can he beat Joachim? No, he can't. So 52.7, so did go in deep into the bus stop chicane. Lose him a bit of lap time, but I think he's going for it again. What about Joey down in P12? There he is in the Renault. Chapelele is out on another out lap, so we did make it in time. What's Finley's first sector? We'll go on board with him first, see what he does in the first sector. His first sector is a 31.4, goes 1/10 quicker in the first sector, so he has found some time. Maybe he went adjusted his mistake in Eau Rouge and Radion. As you can see, Joey into turn 1. Chapelele, this will be all of their last flying laps then, so this will count for the battle for P9. Imagine if it just dried up now. Nah, I don't think that'll be possible. Well, I don't think that'll help him because it'll still be damp. Finley makes his way towards P1. Can he get ahead of Jochum in P9 with a 52.5 he set? Joey, Finley and Chapelele fighting for P9. Plus they get to start a brand new set of tyres. Everybody does, except no, they don't actually, because Jules, Sahilu, Finley, Vatica, Terror Racer, Sem have got to start the soft compound tyres because that's the fastest lap they set their times on. So did Kazizel do his best lap time on the... Yeah, he did obviously, so yeah. So the top 8 I've got to start on those soft tyres they set their fast time on. Oh, Finley's just invalidated it and he is absolutely frustrated. Chapelele has retired from the session, so it's all down to Joey if he can get himself in the top 10. With his one and only lap time on the intermediate conditions. And it's 24.2 in the middle sector for him. And I did notice he's missing an end plate on the right hand side of his front wing, so let's see how bad the damage is. How much will it affect Joey? Renault driver makes his way towards the bus stop chicane. Managed to get it slowed down, doesn't go deep. Loses the back end on entry. And he won't beat Jochum sadly for him, so Joey will start in P11. Not the qualifying session we thought we had, but it was something that spiced it up. So Jules is a McLaren 1-2 ahead of Kazizel in P3. Ginger will start P4 ahead of Vatica. The top 8 will have to start the tyres they've set the fastest lap on. Quicksilver survived in P9 and he gets to start a brand new set of softs or mediums if he wants to, because he set his best lap time on the inters. So does Finley in the top 10, so those two can start on the softs or mediums if they want to. Everybody outside the top 10 can, and it is Joey, Rizza, Jill, Symbolic, Shap and Dan. Chapelele could not get a lap in while he had the chance, so we'll have to start down to P15. Out of position, but let's see what he can do there. This could be a spicy race when Chapelele being in P15. Teammate all there, so that's something for Alfa Romeo. With Sahilu starting P10, could he be a bit under pressure with starting in the big position? And it is dry for the race, so I think that's everybody's relief. So it's just fun lap times from Bread and Kaz. Remember Jules last week, he was in the top 3 for the whole race, and Zach managed to overtake him on the last lap, saving up his ERS. They almost became under pressure from Jill behind him because Jill did have the better tyres at the end, but couldn't quite make it work out. Finley got a podium. It was going to be Luke that got a podium, but he had a penalty, so it went to Finn instead. Can Jules go one better? He's already in a good place in P1 so far. He's got his teammate behind him. I wonder if those two will fight hard. Jules has been on good form this season. Can he keep it up? And we'll see what tyres everybody's gone for outside the top 10. So for those wondering how Quicksilver Phillies on the medium, so basically it started raining in the qualified session. The top 7 got their lap through, the top 8 got their lap through, as P9 downwards didn't get their lap through, so they had to go in the intermediates and fight their way to P9. Some could do it because they crashed, but Quicksilver has opted to go on the medium compound tyres there, so this is going to be very interesting. And Dan down to P16 is on the soft compound tyres. In fact, he's not even here, is he? So I don't know where he's gone. Looks like Jules and Sahilu are pulling away because P3 is backing the pack up, so you can see both McLarens bolted down the road, but the top 2 I don't know if they're going to wait towards the end of the lap. You don't want to be sitting on the grid too long because your tyres will start cooling down. Look at that, it's not even bothered to slow down, has he, Jules? As you can see there, P3 is further back. The top two have just pulled away. Did they know it's the formation lap? There they are then, so they finally slowed down. Jules slowing down like as a safety car restart. He was going to win the Belgium Grand Prix. After Kaz's performance in Abu Dhabi didn't quite go to plan. I don't know why. I thought he had the pace, but things didn't go his way, and that's a Haas driver getting very close. That's Ratiko, P5. His teammate Dan is in P16, is not here, so it's the top 15 drivers then. Ginger didn't really have a good race either, so let's see if we can get a better one in Belgium. Quicksilver did a DNF last week, so let's see if he can make it up for this week. Finley had a podium last week. He started in P10 as well, so can he do the same thing? Go back to the front of the field then, and we'll wait for the lights to go out for round 4. Who is going to win the Belgium Grand Prix? 4 lights, 5 lights. We're underway for round 4 of the Belgium Grand Prix then. So Jules gets a decent start off this line. So does his teammate, but Kaz goes down the inside. You can see the Mercedes trying to go down the inside of a Ferrari as the AlphaTauri is alongside, but Sahil gets a much better exit cut out of turn 1 and pulls away. So the top 2 stay the same. And looks like they're all good so far, but Chapelele's had a miserable start down in P16 with Symbolics as well. Symbolics in P15. There's an AlphaTauri, that's a Williams, sorry, going off the road. They're all on the Kemmel straight there with the graphics glitch. As Quicksilver will go around the outside. Oh, that's so close. As Brett gets front wing damage. Yes, he does indeed. So Quicksilver then, as Brett half spins, and does he save it? Yes, he does. It's a bad start from those guys so far, as they're all scrapping it out. Chapelele has a 3-second time penalty already. Brett losing out positions to Symbolics and more to do to Finley because of that front wing damage. They both outbroke themselves, but Quicksilver managed to make it stick. Sadly for Brett, he couldn't quite make it. So Joey, Quicksilver on the medium compound tyres, then fighting with the soft runners. Looks like they're in a good position so far. And obviously, Joey almost lost it coming out of there. Very common place to lose it, especially the dirty air. As Quicksilver is all over the back of Joey. Sadly, Jill and Dan are not here, so this is 14 cars racing. As Chapelele is at the back on those medium compound tyres, so I wonder what happened to him. But will Joey make a move on Sem on the bus stop chicane? Yes, he does. A late decision, and he does go down the inside of the Dutch driver. We'll go around the outside now. Sam go on board with Quicksilver. They both squeeze each other as Joey's in the wall. Joey will be absolutely frustrated with that one. Well, I don't know what happened there, but I do know what happened, but I don't want to say anything about it because I don't know if I did see it correctly like I should have. Did Sem push him in the wall, or did Joey go into him? I wonder. But Chapelele has retired from the session, so that's his race done. That's a big disappointing moment for Joey. Really a big shame for Chapelele there. So Kaz then will probably get a warning for cutting the corner in turn 6 as we make our way down into Rivage. Ginger looking on the back, but Sahilu down in P2 has managed to keep his cool, and it's a McLaren 1-2, so I think both McLarens can start working with each other because they've got a really good position. And make our way through P1 then. The understeer is mad through here. And Quicksilver being on the medium compound tyres will go much longer than the guys in the top 7. Can Quicksilver try and win this race on those medium compound tyres? Who knows? Lap 3 then, the DRS will be enabled, but cars, the graphics have not really updated themselves as Joey's gone for a spin and has retired. Brad, has he pitted? Yes he has, he just struggled through the car. Oh, the safety car has been deployed. I don't think anyone would be happy with that. Well, Quicksilver won't be happy about that one, but they can't double stack surely? Yes they are, they're both entering the pits. That's going to be a double stack. That's not what McLaren wanted, and it's going to be painful for them. That double stack is going to hurt badly for them. They go on the hard compound tyres. I don't think you can make it to the end of the mediums, can you? But it's gonna hurt Sahilo a lot. He had no choice really. Could he stay out there? I don't know. Was that a good thing to do, staying out there on the soft compound tyres? But the safety car from Joey hasn't helped him whatsoever. And Dan hasn't pitted at a P4, but he is a ghost and he's left the session. So is Jill. So Jill's down to P6 then on the hard compound tyres as Sem is on the soft compound tyres. So that's a very interesting strategy from the Dutch driver. Soft, medium, I suppose. Well, he did have enough soft tyres because it was raining in that qualified session, so he's on a brand new set of softs. So for his strategy to work, he needs to get ahead of those guys. But that's painful for Sahilo because he's down to P13, P2 to P13. He won't be happy with that one whatsoever, but it was no fault of his own. So the safety car is out and I will take a short break. Oh dear, so the Ferrari driver is in the pits for some reason. I wonder why he's pitting. There he is then. On a brand new... He's gone on the hard compound tyres, so he has changed his mind, has Sam. So I think he made a mistake. Wasn't supposed to go on the soft compound tyres. The team put him on the softs. And now he's going to go out there on those hard compound tyres. But at least I'll have fresh hards coming out the pit lane and catching up. So P6 to P14 then on the hard compound tyres. Oh dear. Looks like Finn and Dan are fighting for position. Finn can't overtake, can he, on the ghosted car? He's going to be frustrated with that one. He has to give the place back, does Finley? This is what happens when ghosted cars are in the session. You can see Finley desperately trying to get past Dan, but he can't. Might as well stay behind him, Finley. He can't overtake him. I don't know why he left the session, probably due to connection issues or something. Safety car is in this lap, folks. Quicksilver then will control the pace, and let's see. Oh, there's a lock, but I was losing the car there. Be careful. And you can see Finley and Dan scrapping for positions on. Off they go. Then Quicksilver has caught Javu Vizard napping, and off he goes. Then wants to get himself out of that 1 second age of DRS. He's got 3 laps to pull out a gap of over 1 second. And let's see what happens from here on in. Then they've got the hardwoods behind. Nobody except Dan on the softs, but Dan doesn't count because he's not in the session. I don't think he's going to join back either. Jules down in 5th place there, and Ginger has made his way past Jill, but Jill's not here obviously, so the ghosted cars are in the way and confusing things a bit. Hopefully it doesn't distract Ginger too much, which it doesn't do. I know ghosted cars can be distracted. And on board with Finley then as he makes a move on Giroud Vizzer for P2. But Giroud is not backing out, is he? They both go side by side, still side by side, but Finley has the outside line, and he takes P2 off the Dutchman. So good move from Finley there to get past Giroud as quick as he can. But the gap between Quicksilver and Finley is 2.4 as Ratker's managed to make his way past Dan and Jill. Finley's Ginger's close on the back of Kazizel for P5. Or keep an eye on that gap between Finley and Quicksilver. Can Finley pull that gap down? A 2.5 second gap between those two. And hopefully those ghosted cars will be cleared very soon because they are very distracting. Don't know what happened to Jill or Dan. Well, I do know what happened to Dan, but I don't know what happened to Jill. Don't know why he left the session. Hopefully he can join back and probably retire his car before it causes any more issues. You can see Giroud Vizzer then not done with Finley yet. The gap is 2.6 now between Quicksilver and Finley, those medium runners, as Quicksilver has set the fastest lap of the race. I do believe Quicksilver's in the prime position in P1. Keep it nice and clean, get a good gap, pull out the pace. He'll do an amazing job, I believe. I think those medium runners should be quicker still than the hard runners because they're still better there at this stage. The medium runners will probably pit lap 15 or P16. I mean lap 15 or 16. Then they'll go with the soft compound tyres and they'll try and close down the hard runners. Juvers are not close enough to make a move just yet. It's just one big DRS train, but with Symbolics and Sahilu then fighting for P9. Sem down there in P12. And Brett down there in P14 as well, so allow Brett to catch up. Can Finley pull away from Giroud Vizzer? The gap is 5/10, and this is a difficult track to pull away from somebody. But it's worked out beautifully for Quicksilver down in P1 there. Giroud Vizzer 6/10 behind Finley for P2. They've got Jules down there in P4 on the hard compound tyres. He's the leader of the hard runners. Make our way through Stabilo as Sem's got past Jill for P11. So 2 DNFs then from Chapelele and Joey. Joey crashed in the wall and Chapelele just had a bad start really. Not much can be said from him. I think DRS will be enabled this next lap. He's crossed the line now and DRS is enabled, so we might see some opportunities to overtake on the straight. Imagine racing without DRS. Maybe it's a good thing that DRS was introduced because I think it could be very hard to overtake, wouldn't it? You've got to use a lot of your EOS to overtake somebody. Of course, the drag reduction system was introduced in 2011. And go ball with Sahilu because he's right behind Symbolics. In fact, he's alongside him now. Where is he? There he is. And he made his way past to go to P9 ahead of the Mercedes driver. So let's see what he can do in this race then. Started in P2. Can he get himself back up there? Obviously down in P9, not his fault because of that double stack under the safety car, as Bed receives a 3-second time penalty. So he's the only one in the field carrying a penalty. The gap's gone up to 2.9 now between Quicksilver and Finley. 3 seconds now, so Quicksilver is starting to drop Finley. And in fact, Finley is almost outside the 1 second range of DRS to Giroud Vizza, which he almost is. He's just hovering around the 9/10 to 1 second gap. Giroud Vizza crucially needs to get himself in that 1 second range of DRS to keep himself safe from Jules behind him. Obviously the top 3 are the medium runners. Yeah, but he's still in that 1 second range of DRS though, is Giroud, so he can defend himself against Jules in P4 and the co behind him. Wonder when Kaz will start to make a move, so we'll Ginger down in P6, then he'll be staying there too long, behind the dirty air of Jules. The gap is now 3 seconds between Quicksilver and Finley. We're heading on to lap 8 of this race, as Sahilu has set the fastest lap of the race, and he's behind Tow Racer. So hunted him down for P8. Made the way towards Gradion and Eau Rouge. Quicksilver, after a disappointing race in Abu Dhabi, could this be a chance to get back in the winning ways? We'll be on the soft compound tyres towards the end of the race. Much fresher, softer tyres, so he'll hunt down the pack and try and get back to where he was, as Sem has overtaken Symbolics for P10. So Symbolics then started to drop just a little bit. He's got Bread for company behind. All of them locking up, especially Bread going deep into Ravage. Quite a difficult braking zone there. It's very easy to lock up in the downhill braking. Braking and turn in, that's what you have to do. So Quicksilver then 3.4 second gap over Finley. Looking very good at the front indeed from him. Can he find any more pace as he goes purple in the middle sector, so he is pushing quite a bit, is Quicksilver. Nobody in front of him and a good gap behind him, 3.6. Obviously I think he needs to build that gap a bit more. He'll be hunting down everybody when he goes on the soft compound tyres. Jules there down in P4 then might want to consider it, but he can't do anything about it because he's behind those two who are fighting for P2. Giroud Vizza still in the back of Finley though, so she's keeping in contact with him. It's just a big DRS train as we head on to lap 9 out of this race. As Sem has set the fastest lap down in P10, as Sahilu then closes in on Terror Racer for P9 of this race, or P8. We'll keep an eye on those two as we make the climb towards Radion Le Rouge. Is he close enough to make a move? Is Sahilu. You can see there Jules down in P4, 4/10s behind. Nobody close enough to make a move just yet, as Bread has overtaken Symbolics, and that is for P11 of this race. He goes deep into the braking zone though, and Symbolics does hit the back of him. Hopefully doesn't get any front wing damage. That car doesn't look really comfortable for Bread, it must be said. I wonder if he's just struggling a bit with the setup or something. He'll go back on board Jules then as he closes in and hunts down Giroud Vizza, as Symbolics gets a 3-second time penalty. The gap has increased at the front between Finley and Quicksilver. It's now 4.1. If Giroud Vizza can stay in contact with Finley with the DRS and stop Jules from overtaking him. Remember, he's got a big train behind him. Kaz, Ginger, Ratika, Terror Racer, Sahilu and Sem, who's got himself in the 1 second range of DRS towards Sahilu. They're all hunting him down. The only person, must be said, is in clear air, and that's Quicksilver. Finley's in clear air too, but he's got Giroud Vizza for company behind him. As we move on to lap 10 out of 22, you can see the hard runners right behind Giroud Vizza. Make our way down into turn 1 here. Quicksilver in the foreground there, pulling away. Gap is now 4.3 between those two. You can be much happier on those soft compound tyres towards the end of this race. Try and hunt everybody down. No overtakes will be happening on this straight. Sahilu though, down in P9 behind Terror Racer. Must be frustrated to be in this position like P7. You know, we got guys ahead of you. There's nothing you could do to try and overtake your rival in a big DRS train. What do you do when you sat there with P7? Just hope for opportunities? Like Ginger as well down to P6. He's got 4 cars that were, yeah, 4 cars ahead of him. Nothing he can do, but he's got quite a bit of EOS, same as Kazizzle. Jules has as well. Well, they all got quite a bit of EOS. Quicksilver looking comfortable at the front there in P1. As Bread picks up another 3-second time penalty, so he's stacking up. He's racking up the penalties, isn't he? What could you visit do that in P3 then? As Bread gets another 3-second time penalty, what is he? How is he getting so many? He's just not really happy, is he? As here comes Symbolics then on Bread. I think Bread must have made a mistake as they go side by side through Blanchimon. Wow, very quick through there, flat out. And then side by side too. As Symbolics switches to the inside line, overtakes him, blocks up a bit, but made the move stick. Now can Bread do the... Oh no, he doesn't, he goes in the pits. Good battle while it lasted, and he's retired. Just not happy with the setup, I suppose, because it's not like Bread to be struggling like this. Clown up our way through Eau Rouge and Radion, and still behind Terror Racer. We just can't get past him at the moment. We're just stuck behind. We've got a bit more EOS compared to Terror Racer, but we just sat behind the train of cars. I bet Sahila must be frustrated. Nothing he could do doing that double stack. The gap's almost 5 seconds out in front between Quicksilver and Finley. He keeps extending his lead. Get a really good advantage. If a late safety car does come out, like lap 15-16, it will benefit him. Oh dear, Giroud Visa has picked up a 3-second time penalty, and Jules has closed in on Giroud. There he is then. Is he struggling on those medium compound tyres? Those hards could definitely go to the end. And guess what? Giroud is outside the 1 second range of DRS, so he needs to get himself back in there so he can have a better chance to keep Jules behind him. All got equal pace, but we're just stuck in one big DRS train. Imagine if the top 3 on the same type of tyres too. That'd be even more frustrating for them. Yep, Giroud is back inside that 1 second range of DRS. Ratika's 9/10s behind though. He's in the clutches of Terror Racer and Sahilu. Sem down there in P2 after making a pit stop after choosing the wrong tyres. Probably thought twice because I don't think a 2-stop would work for him down in P10. Obviously it'll be quicker, but he has to make that time up again, which he might struggle to do because of the DRS train and the track being so big as well. You can see then Jules closing and closing and closing, but still can't quite make the move on Giroud. Finley, I think these two are on the same esports team, so I think these two could be working together. If they're in the same party, I think they should be. So the FRL boys working against the VER boys. As Giroud has a bit of a wobble on quid out of no name. So Quicksilver then, MP1, enjoying life, nothing's happening so far. 5.1 is the gap. Just needs to keep extending that gap as much as he can. Make no mistakes. And he'll be on the soft compound tyres towards the end of the race. Pace seems good at the moment from Quicksilver. Oh, Finley! Oh, he's crashed, spun and hit the wall. Finley, that was a odd mistake. He's frustrated. He's left the session. That is a very... well, Easy thing to do, lose the rear end of the car, and that's him gone. Yeah, he's very frustrated as Quicksilver has pitted. That's rather early, don't you think, to pit on lap 11? Lap 12, sorry. Maybe not, but Chiruviza takes the lead of the race and Quicksilver's on a brand new set of the soft compound tyres there. So watch out for Quicksilver, he'll be very quick. And this is Jules' golden opportunity. Remember, he doesn't have to fight too hard against Chiruviza because Chiruviza has got to pit again. Well, not again, but for the first time in this race, so can't afford to use too much ERS against Chiruviza. He needs to get, well, best chance to get past him is now, which he does do. So then, can Chiruviza fight back? Will he try to fight back? Bit of contact has been made, and guess what? The AlphaTauri has gone around the outside, and he's overtaken him for first place. Kaz is in the lead of the Monza Grand Prix. I meant the Belgium Grand Prix, sorry. Got a bit too excited there. But the contact between Jules and Jeroen, I don't know how big it was, but it certainly impacted Jules because he lost the place to his championship rival. So this could be a big race now. Jules would not want to be in P2 again. Oh, Kaz has got a 3-second time penalty, so this could be a bit easier for Jules. Or Jules doesn't need to pick up a 3-second time penalty, so he can win this race. He's got the high ground for the moment, but can't afford to let Kaz pull away. That tap didn't seem big at all from Jeroen and Jules, but it just, I don't know, certainly seemed big enough. And Ginger's got past Jeroen too, and guess what? Here comes Terror Racer on Ratica, side by side through Blanchimon. Will Jeroen visit pit this lap, I wonder, as Terror Racer goes down the inside of Ratica. Doesn't pit this lap, as Ratica stays ahead of Terror Racer. McLaren in the background too, trying to get involved on the action. This race has really heated up. Own personal squabbles. Alright then, so Jules having the high ground. All he needs to do is not get a 3-second time penalty. He's a racer, so I presume he'll just go for it. But he can't afford to get a penalty now. Ginger has a great chance of winning this race as well. If these two come to blows, then that's Ginger in contention for a win. I know Ginger's had some bad luck in the last few races, as Quicksilver has got past his teammate way too easy because they were using team orders, I suppose. There's no point fighting that for... Oh, he almost hit the back of him, Ginger. Chiruviza will be struggling, but guess what? He'll do Quicksilver a favour by holding up this pack. Those tyres will continue to degrade, and he'll hold these guys up. So keep an eye on Quicksilver down in P9. He could be a threat for the podium. I know how quick those soft tyres will be now. Safety car will not do too much, but I don't think it'll be too bad because the gap is not too big, so not too bad for Quicksilver. As Chiruviza's almost out of the 1 second range of DRS. Ratica will be desperate to get past so we can reconnect with that group in front. Terror Racer had a crack at Ratica, but didn't quite make the move stick, sadly for him. And Jeroen is pitting this lap, so that'll make Ratica even more happier. Did Gigi make a mistake quit out of the last corner? He's not using any DRS. I thought I saw the back end slide a bit through the last corner, as Quicksilver has set the fastest lap of the race. So that's the quickest time I've had all session because qualifying was a 46 point something. So Kaz then needs to pull away from Jules as much as he can to break that penalty window. It's going to be easier said than done there because it's very easy to stay behind a car at this track. There is 7 then, back on Sahilu. He'll have Quicksilver for company down in P8, so keep an eye on him. Could be a threat for the podium against these hard runners. He can be very, very quick at this stage of the race. No doubt about it. 2.6, the gap was 4 seconds, that was 2.5 to Sem. So Sem will be under pressure from the Dutchman soon. Looks like Sahilu is very confident. In fact, he almost lost the back end there. The exit of a corner, so looks like Sahilu is more confident taking a lot of curbing more than Terror Racer. And back on Ginger there because he's close behind Jules for P2. 3/10 is the gap now. Move on to lap 16 in this race. After this lap, can Ginger try and find a way to get past Jules for P2? He knows that the Kaz has got a 3-second time penalty. Lock up into turn 1 or for 3 of them. And Quicksilver's 1.7 now behind Sem. He'll be arriving at the train very, very shortly. I feel so sorry for Finley. I can imagine the rage. If that was me, I'd definitely be raging because it was. I don't know. I've not really seen many people make mistakes like that in a corner. Maybe it was the ever old and aging medium tyres. Who knows? But maybe it was the pressure from behind. I thought he would save it, but it just couldn't quite get the car back in shape. It's really unfortunate to see him go. I would love to see what he could have done in this race. ERS is looking healthy for Ginger there. More half the ERS compared to Jules. And Kaz had a bit of a mistake coming corner, and Symbolics is retired. I thought that was Quicksilver. Is that a safety car, I wonder? Oh, it is a safety car. Safety car has been deployed, and that could really help Quicksilver. Quicksilver is in a really good position. Now, could be a bit of controversy, I'm not going to say it, but will the hard runners pit because they've got Giroux, Vizor and Quicksilver for company 2, and they do pit. I think all of them go to the pits. What about Sahilu? Oh yes, that's his second double stack, but he's slowing down in the pit lane is Sahilu. You can see he's not really speeding because of he doesn't really want a double stack behind Jules. Quicksilver takes the lead of the race. And he has the double stack behind his teammate. That must be really painful. Onto the soft tyres, everybody goes. Where's Giroux Vizor? How has he ended up so far behind? There he is down in P8, P6 now. The guys will stick to the pit lane rules and regulations. He's got ahead of Sem. But if I remember correctly, Giroux Vizor was about 4 seconds away from Quicksilver. How has he ended up so far behind Quicksilver? Did he make a mistake? Let me go check his race time. So when Quicksilver came out of the pits, he pitted on lap 13 at 56.8. What was Giroux Vizor's time? At 57.8, 51. He had 2 scruffy laps, so 51.5 and 57.8. So lap 15, he had a problem, a big problem. He was 53.5. I'm not quite sure how's that happened because you could see from lap 5 down to lap 13 it was in the 48s, then 51.5 on lap 14, 15, 16, then on lap 16 it was on a brand new set of softs, so he's made a mistake somewhere. In fact, let me go check what he's done. It's a one-stop strategy. I thought he pitted again, but he hasn't. So Giroux Vizor must have had a mistake somewhere on that lap. He can't be so far behind Quicksilver, for sure. Whatever happened to him, it's cost him dearly. And with the safety car coming out, the soft tyres, the soft runners now ahead of him. So he's on the same strategy effectively on those guys ahead. But Quicksilver is in the lead of this race for the second time under a safety car. I'm thinking, did he spin a little bit coming out of the pit? Did he on that lap? Maybe cold tyres, maybe new tyres. He just, I don't know what happened to him, but Let's see what happens from here on in from Jimmy Vizza. He's still in P7, so ahead of Sem and Sahilu. Sahilu will be absolutely gutted. The safety cars just came out at the wrong time for him. Obviously, he can't predict the future and stay out, but the safety car is just hasn't done any favours whatsoever. Started in P2 and P9 again. So what happens when you start so close? Obviously, you don't know when the safety car is going to come out, but when it does, when you're the second car and it's time to pit, and then it's just not really gone. Maybe he could have gone the medium to. Nah. He'll have to pit again, won't he? Never mind. Maybe do a soft medium. Nah, you can't predict when the safety car will come out. Obviously there'll be a chance of a safety car coming out, but you're not going to predict what lap is going to come out. It's just wrong time, wrong place really for him. Nothing he can do about it. Who knows what's going to happen? Could he get on the podium? Could he be in the top 5? So penalties on the shoulders of Jeroen Vizza and Kazizel. They're both 3-second time penalties, so Kaz has got about 4 laps to try and do something about it. Big disadvantage for him, and the safety car I think should be coming in towards the end of this lap, and that'll be lap 19 of this race. So he's got 3 laps to try and pull out a big gap as he can and see where he ends up at the end of the race. But he can't afford, well, Jules can't afford to pick up 3-second time penalty. He could win this race. I don't know if a 4 lap difference on the softs is a big difference. Obviously it's a bit of a difference, but not too big. Quicksilver's job then, he's got a car in between him, and the safety car is in this lap, so Quicksilver then will control the pack. When people spin at Eau Rouge and Pouwan, it's either they get on the curb and lose the car, or they lose it mid-corner. But he put it in the barrier like Antonio Giovinazzi did in 2019. It was on his own as well, not like he was with anybody, so he probably needs to see his footage. As Mickey Ulizzi said, an exciting end to the race. So Quicksilver then will lead them away ahead of Kazizel. Jules will in P3 ahead of Ginger. Everybody's on a brand new set of softs, excluding Dan and Jill because they're not here. And Finley. So the top 9 then will be racing towards the end of this race. Oh, Finley should have stayed, man. He should have really stayed. So the Quicksilver then using his ERS to try and get him just pull away just a bit. Don't want to use too much of it, of course, just wants to save a bit of it towards the later parts. No moves being made down into Lacombe. This could be a really interesting end to this race. Can Kaz win this race, or will it be Jules or Quicksilver, or could it be Ginger? I did mention Ginger, but Ginger has been stuck in a big DRS train for the whole race. He hasn't really done anything except sit behind the rear wing of Jules. Not much he can do, of course, other than obliterate his DRS and hope he can overtake him, but obviously he won't do that. So Quicksilver then, on those older soft compound tyres, still maintaining the pace high in front. You can see Ginger closing in on Jules. This is the battle for P3, a last podium position. And Kaz is in a really uncomfortable place in P2 with a 3-second time penalty. I think somebody's going to make a move further back. No, too far back. There they are then entering the bus stop chicane. Look at that. The top 9 in one big picture. Well, split second there. As we enter turn 1, DRS will be enabled on the last lap, I believe. Just the safety car just came out at the wrong time for people. This is Kazizel on P2. Ratica has got a 3-second time penalty. He is down in P5. How hard will Quicksilver defend from Kaz? You don't have to fight him too much, but obviously he wants to stay in front, knowing that Kaz has got a 3-second time penalty and he almost lost it coming out of turn 5. All Quicksilver needs to do is not get a penalty, neither does Jules and Ginger and the others that haven't got a penalty. Making their way through No Name and now coming down to Puon. A really fast corner. Start lift off, they're back on the throttle instantly. And you can see then Ginger back on the back of Jules. Looks like Ginger's more confident through the middle sector compared to Jules because he gets really close behind him in that middle sector. So could he find? Does he have more pace compared to him? Noticed it before the pit stop as well. Very hard to overtake, really hard to overtake. I like the game being realistic about it, but being a league racer is really frustrating as DRS is enabled. It's lap 21 out of this race. Being a league racer, it's just not what you want whatsoever, is it? So DRS is enabled. As you can see, Kaz is all over the back of Quicksilver. Look at that, he's just pushing up through Eau Rouge and Radion. And he pulls out the slipstream. This is going to be really interesting. Ginger on the back of Jules. And here we go, AlphaTauri pulls out. And here comes Jules. Can Jules take advantage of Quicksilver? This is going to be really tight. Quicksilver has to defend from Jules, which he does do. And Kaz takes the lead of this race. You can see Ginger all over the back of Jules. Jules defends the inside line and maintains his third place, but that was really close between those drivers. I thought for one moment Ginger would try and make a move on Jules, but obviously Jules been in the DRS and slipstream behind Quicksilver, couldn't quite make this move stick. You can see, look at that, Ginger just all over the back of Jules. He definitely has more confidence and a lot more ERS. Can Ginger find himself on the podium? Not like that though, if he makes that mistake again. I think it's going to be all or nothing on the last lap. You can see Jules uses his ERS out of Stabilo, but Ginger has a lot more to play with. There's Ratica still in P6, P5 behind him. Kaz, well, if Quicksilver's outside the 1 second range of DRS, then it's going to help Jules to close in. And Quicksilver's still in the 1 second range of DRS, but can Ginger take a podium off of VR Jules? Big rivalry between VR and FRL. I don't get involved with it. It's a 43.3. Heading into turn 1 then, Ginger just all over the back, needs to get a really good exit, and I think he has got a good exit. So Jules then will be under massive pressure behind. He's going to run out of ERS. Ginger knows he's run out of ERS. There's the flashing light at the back of the car. And this is going to be a good move. Can he take 2 for 1? Because Quicksilver's run out of ERS too. Can he take them both on? Yes, he does. He takes both of them on. And down the inside he goes to Quicksilver. There is Jules, and he's spun. Jules has spun behind Quicksilver. And he's taken a... Oh, that's a Ferrari in the barriers. That is Sem out of the race. I don't know if he got caught out by the mistake from Jules. That's a massive shame for Sam. But I did see... Did he make contact? I don't know if he was ghosted or not. But Jules then, optimistic to go down the inside of Quicksilver. Both in the same esports team. And Quicksilver... That Jules is not going to be happy. He could have won this race, good Jules. But sadly, it's just not gone his way. I thought he was going to... And he ended up behind his teammate as well. He's definitely not going to be happy. But Sahili was all over the back of Javu Vizza. Can he take P6? Knows he's run out of ERS. Sahilo has been really smart about his ERS situation. Can he make a last mark? Look at that, Quicksilver under pressure from Ratica. There he is then. And Quicksilver could lose the podium. And he does lose the podium. He outbreaks him as he tries to go around the outside. This is going to be so close between the two. Can one of them get a better exit? This could be a drag race down to the line. And Quicksilver takes P3. Ginger, FRL Ginger wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Well, Ginger was stuck in the DRS train for quite a while, but when it mattered, he comes home to finish in P. Well, a thrilling race that was in Belgium. Kaz finishes in P2, so he doesn't lose the podium despite having a 3-second time penalty. Quicksilver, P3, Ratica, P4 despite having a 3-second time penalty. Terracer, P5, Jules in P6. Chivuviza did not get overtaken by Sahilu, and P9 downwards, left the session or retired. 8 finishers in this race, and in the end, when it all mattered, it was FRL Ginger who won. Jules was just optimistic to go down the inside. Congrats to Quicksilver from starting 9th, and he finishes in 3rd place. And Ginger takes an extra point because he gets the fastest lap of the race too, so looking good for Ginger. He started in 4th place. Jeroen Visser awarded to him from P12 on the grid to P7. What could have happened if Finley was in this race? But Jules then, P2 in the last race, P6 in this race. Can he come back stronger in the next race? I think that's it for us now. We'll see you next week at 7 PM. Tune in for Tier 1 and take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the race in the Miller. And yeah, wrap it up.